right on what Ben said there a second ago. I mean, in the music world, when I'm working with songwriters, geez, have you heard this thing YouTube? There are people with ukuleles on their bed. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Wow. Okay. So there's about 10 billion people that are putting their stuff out there, and they usually have a good idea. It just goes horribly wrong for at least 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So to tag what Ben was saying, sometimes it's not what you do and what you put out there, it's what you don't do. I mean, with Miles Davis, it was like, not what you play, it's what you don't play. So, and that's really being able to fix your stuff so it works better. I mean, that's what hopefully we're doing here, at least I'm trying to do here as a professor here, is to, I like your idea. Let's work with that one idea because it's got an identity and a story, but it's not this idea, then this idea, and this idea. Oh, wait a minute, then we can do this, and then we can, check out this chord. Oh, I'm going to put that in here. Same thing in film, right? You know, you got all these different things. Just give me one story that leaves me feeling a certain way. The only way you get there is either pure genius that happens, something comes out of the sky and hits you, and you're a genius, or you just get rid of all the crap. And you pare it down to one good idea that you had initially, but you don't muck it up with all the other stuff. So I think the talent thing is it's partially a craft thing and how you edit yourself.
Well, talent shouldn't be confused with skill.
Skill, yeah.
Yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, and
Yeah.
if you can't bring it to whatever step it needs to be seen or heard or at least experienced by someone else, that skill isn't there. You could have the best color sense in the world, but if you can't apply that to some form of art or some form of film or artsy film, then it's not really going to help you too much.
Yeah.
Perfect pitch is a talent. I mean, you can develop some of it, but perfect pitch by itself is, great. So I can tell you're flat. Yay! I can tell every singer is like flat or sharp, but I can't.
So you go to some countries where they tune not to 440 but below it or above it, and then you're driven mad, and then who knows what's going to happen. But the other thing too is just being kept from being your own worst enemy. You know, in terms of the talent pool, because I work with really talented people, but they can just completely destroy their stuff because they can't get out of their bubble there. A good producer, I mean, people that tell me they want to be producers, I said, learn everybody else's job first before you can tell them what you think. But that's what you really have to do. You have to learn all that stuff. But that's the other thing you can take with raw talent is to try to keep them from destroying their own story and their own abilities and get focused to it. And so, the talent thing is a funny deal. When you go on the road, I'd rather go on the road with somebody that's the upper part of mediocre.
Yeah, high-level mediocre.
I will take high-level mediocre with good health habits and a nice conversationalist and not a pain in the ass when you go out and split the bill 12 different ways over the uber-burning saxophone player that makes your life a living hell. I'm not going to name names, but anyway. So it's all about all those different things, and talent is not all that. And I echo all my brethren here about how you put on, about how you put on that good attitude and you just try really hard. And sometimes you just got to shut your mouth and just let the stuff go. Do stuff you're proud of. You know, I gave it my best shot. What else can you do? You know, you walk away. No, it wasn't perfect, and you could be picking away at it forever, right? Everything that we do, we could probably tweak it a little bit more. But in TV, 5 days to write a tune, produce a tune, and get it to the editor. Done. It's gone. It's locked. It's gone. You know? So that's how it goes.
All right, I have a burning question, but I'm not really sure how to formulate it. It's sort of like something that you all kind of touched on. So my first co-op, and Ms. Sweeney can attest to this, I was not happy, and it was in insurance. I was working in human resources, and just realized that I really was not the place for me. And I felt like really faking enthusiasm. Like I didn't want to lie to my supervisor. And so we would often have this talk, like, I know you can do better, but I just don't really see the enthusiasm. And so I would kind of have to be like, well, it's because it's not there. I'm not lying to you.
So you learned something you don't want to do.
So I learned something I don't want to do. At the same time.
So when you get that feeling again, what are you going to do?
Go the other way.
Well, I mean, one of the things that separates us from the fishes is we tend to learn from
our mistakes.
No, just our past. That's not a mistake. The fact that you were in an internship that didn't work out for you. But learn the signs. From like when I got fired from, whatever the hell cable company was at the time. It's not, everything's Comcast now, but it was somebody else at the time. Heron Communications. Learn why. I was unhappy there for months. Right? I should have left long before I got fired because I was very unhappy.
Right.
And so when you feel that anxiety about a position that you're in, that's the time to start looking for something else. Don't just walk out and say, "Hi world, I'm back," and try to find something there, but make yourself a plan and just get out.
And I think I did do that by, doing the comm cinema major rather than straight communications. However, I have heard a lot about, you said burning bridges and how you never know who's going to be your next associate or whatever. And so how do you recover from something like that where you've made a bad impression simply because it wasn't your cup of tea, and
you can burn some bridges.
Yeah.
It's okay, and then the thing is, sometimes it's not going to be you. Sometimes your boss is going to be a total jerk, and they get something against you or something, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's not you at all. Here it sounds like, again, it sort of isn't you. It's sort of like your makeup didn't work out with this job, and so,
Right, and we
didn't
did
work
say
out.
that. I mean, she did say that.
How old were you when you had that?
This was last summer.
Okay, that
co-op.
doesn't tell me anything. 19, 20, 21,
Last
65,
year.
244. How old
Oh,
is that?
how old
Give
was
her
I?
age. She's a woman.
I was
Work with the old guy here for a second. So, what are you, 20?
I am a score.
So Scorpio is great. So, nobody cares if a 20-year-old's internship or co-op didn't go well. Nobody in the real world cares.
To be honest, in that sense,
Well, oh well.
I bet she was upset, but when I said don't burn bridges, ultimately you're not going to go back into insurance. It's good that you realize, and I also mentioned, test things out while you're here now, so that this doesn't happen in the quote unquote real world. And if you didn't like that job, if you know you're not going to get a recommendation on that job, you're not going to put that job in your resume. You're not going to be stupid either. You know how you're going to present yourself and what you're going to say you've done. So you also, if you have those experiences, it's great that you're having those experiences now, because that way you're not going to go out there and get your first job just because you need the money and screw yourself over. It's all a test, and I'm living it now. That's why I'm not willing to take certain jobs that I know I'm not going to enjoy. And even though I have master's degree, I'm still freelancing because that's what I feel content and secure with, because I'd rather be that way than do a bad job and screw myself over.
Right.
But can I just sort of interject a couple of things there? I think if you have a good work ethic, that's going to help you, even though there's friction between you and your supervisor. If you're still doing the job and you're doing it well, that's going to make a difference. And also come to career services, and we can help you figure out what environments you would prefer to be in.
Little shameless.
This ad brought to you by.
But I mean, that's why career services is here. So definitely avail yourself of those resources, because they're really here for you now. And you might move away from Boston, or you might, I don't know, something like that. So take advantage of them while it's easy.
One last thing is just be professional no matter what you do. Don't slam any doors. I will tell you, in my industry, you don't know who's going to be your next boss or the next person that you need the license from or for, and all of a sudden, no, we're not really interested.
And to give you some credit here, there's sort of three ways you can go. You can get a great working relationship, which you didn't do. You can have sort of mediocre again, which is I think where you were, or you can create a situation where your bosses have vendetta against you for the rest of your life. And points for not doing that. Good job.
There are interns that will just
no
Oh, yeah.
in which case.
Yeah, well, that can be interesting.